It began like a stunt, but it ended like a political thunderclap. In a packed committee room, Republicans thought they had staged a perfect ambush, a flashy, headline-grabbing attack on federal judges, designed to rattle, distract, and dominate the evening news. The cameras were rolling, the microphones hot, and the villains of the story, confident, smug, and rehearsed, were ready to perform. But then, in a moment no one expected, Eric Swalwell leaned forward, calm but razor-sharp, and fired the first shot. His words sliced through the noise, not with anger, but with precision, and before the room could recover, Jasmine Crockett rose with the kind of presence that makes a chamber fall silent. Together, they didn't just respond, they transformed a cheap stunt into a viral reckoning. And what happened next left even their opponents stunned. Every great showdown begins with a stage. And on this day, the stage was the House chamber, transformed into something closer to a political arena. On one side sat the Republicans, armed with talking points and sound bites, eager to frame federal judges as the latest villains in their culture war. Their strategy wasn't about policy, or even truth. It was theater, designed to undermine trust in the very referees of American justice. They leaned back in their chairs, smirking, certain the spectacle would play out in their favor. On the other side, quiet but deliberate, sat Representatives Eric Swalwell and Jasmine Crockett. Neither raised their voice yet, but the look in their eyes told a different story. To them, this wasn't just another partisan skirmish. It was a line in the sand about the integrity of the courts, the dignity of democracy, and the truth itself. One side sought chaos, the other stood for accountability. The chamber lights burned bright, the tension thickened, and the audience, both inside the room and across America, leaned in. And that's when Swalwell made his first move. Eric Swalwell didn't wait for permission, he seized the moment. Leaning into the microphone, his voice steady, but cutting, he stripped the GOP stunt bare. "This isn't about judges," he said, his words echoing in the chamber. "It's about your obsession with power, no matter the cost." The room stirred. Republican members, who moments earlier looked smug, now shifted in their seats. Swalwell wasn't shouting. He didn't need to. His calm precision was more devastating than rage. He laid out the hypocrisy piece by piece, reminding them of the judges they themselves had defended when it suited their agenda, calling out the double standards they hoped no one would notice. Every line landed with the weight of a gavel. Some Republicans tried to interrupt, but each attempt only gave Swalwell another opening to tighten the screws. The reaction was immediate. Staffers whispered, reporters scribbled furiously, and even in the gallery you could feel the shift, the sense that the stunt was unraveling in real time. The villains had come armed with sound bites, but Swalwell came armed with facts and conviction. He wasn't just answering, he was dismantling. And just when it seemed the air couldn't get heavier, Jasmine Crockett leaned forward, ready to speak. If Swalwell had shaken the foundation, Crockett was about to bring the house down. If Swalwell cracked the armor, Jasmine Crockett drove straight through it. She didn't ease in, she launched, her voice carrying the force of every frustration the American people felt watching the political circus unfold. "You want to talk about judges," she snapped, her words sharp as glass. "Then let's talk about your record, because the only stunt here is the hypocrisy staring this chamber in the face." Gasps rippled across the room. Cameras zoomed in. This was no longer just a debate. It was a takedown. Crockett wove fire and wit together, dismantling each talking point the GOP had rehearsed. She exposed the contradictions with a mix of legal precision and raw indignation that left her opponents blinking, scrambling for a response. The chamber felt like it was vibrating, as if each sentence was a hammer blow reverberating against marble walls. And the best part, Swalwell didn't step back, he stepped in. They played off each other like seasoned partners in battle, Crockett delivering the fire, Swalwell reinforcing with cold, surgical clarity. Their rhythm made the GOP's strategy look flimsy, outdated, almost cartonish. By the time Crockett delivered her closing strike, "If accountability scares you, maybe it's because you know what you've done," the room erupted. Supporters cheered, opponents fumbled their papers, and even neutral onlookers couldn't help but smirk. But the real explosion wasn't inside that chamber. It was online, where millions would soon witness the tag team firestorm. The clash didn't end when the gavel struck. It was only beginning. Within minutes, clips of Swalwell's icy precision and Crockett's fiery retorts were flooding social media feeds. TikTok edits paired her words with thunderous sound effects. Twitter lit up with trending hashtags. Hashtag Crockett clapback and hashtag SWALWELL strikes. And Instagram Reels replayed the moment. The GOP's confidence melted away. Millions of views poured in overnight, each one amplifying the humiliation of those who thought their stunt would go unanswered. More powerful than the numbers were the voices. Finally, someone said it. One comment read, "This is how you fight for democracy," another declared. The country wasn't just watching, it was participating, joining the chorus that turned a committee room debate into a cultural flashpoint. Even late-night hosts and pundits couldn't resist replaying the confrontation, frame by frame, like it was a championship game. And in Washington, the ripple effect was immediate. GOP members, once smug, now dodged reporters' questions, while Democrats walked with a newfound swagger. But while the internet celebrated, the real question loomed: what would the fallout inside the halls of power look like? In the end, the GOP's carefully staged stunt collapsed under the weight of its own arrogance. What was meant to embarrass federal judges became a showcase of their own hypocrisy, exposed line by line, moment by moment, until nothing remained but scattered talking points and shaken expressions. Swalwell and Crockett didn't just win an argument, they redefined the battlefield. Calm precision met fiery conviction, and together, they reminded the nation that truth, when spoken boldly, can still cut through the thickest fog of political theater. The viral storm may have passed, but its echo lingers in the halls of Congress, across living rooms in America, and in the knowledge that justice can be defended, even in the loudest of arenas. Because in the end, when arrogance collides with accountability, there is only one winner, and this time, America saw it unfold live.